All right, welcome to Grossbeeren. It's the 28th of August, 1813. It's 9 a.m. Hopefully you've watched the preliminary videos for this battle, and I think Scott is, well, by the time you watch this, it's already been released, but he was releasing it right now as I'm starting to record. And the attack of the French at Blankenfelde over on Scott's table, which is going to be a connection to this table, just another 13 feet added on to the end that I'm looking towards down there towards the east. That's where Marshal Ney is going up against General Tauzian of the Prussian, I can't remember the exact corps. It might have been the 4th Corps, but I'm probably wrong. Just trying to spout off memory here. So that should be another good battle. The French have a numerical advantage over there. I want to appreciate everyone who took the time to vote in the polls to help decide on Prussian defensive tactics. I believe Scott and I are going to divide this up into, sections of 4 to 6 turns for each video to get a chance for community people to comment and add in tactical advice just to breathe a little bit more flavor into the actual campaign itself. So we can go, hey, we're at this point now. Make some comments on what you'd like the Prussian commanders to do, and it'll kind of simulate some of that, I guess tactical decisions that each of these generals, what's his name over here? I'm having a moment. Laptiev, excuse me about that. I got to look over my board. General Tauzian, as they decide on tactical decisions to basically counter what Marshal Oudinot and Marshal Ney are doing. So that should be fun. Plus, it might make it a little bit more digestible for you as the viewer to watch a 2-hour video versus a 4 to 6 hour video. But when I did the Battle of Zwickau, I just said, heck, let's make it a big, beautiful video. And, I'll do that every so often. I have a hard time doing the same thing over and over again. The joys of my brain. All right. So, we know what's happening. It's 9 o'clock. The attack is going to be signaled by 2 guns fired from Marshal Ney, who's in overall command over at Blenkenfelde. So as soon as Oudinot hears that, he'll give a couple-minute count, and then he'll launch his attack. And Scott has sent over his orders. Right now, I don't really need orders for the coalition because, we're defending, so we'll just be static at first. But there'll be plenty of opportunities as both of these battles progress for you guys to get in there and write some comments and tell us what you'd like the coalition commanders to do. That's it. Once again, I hope you've watched both preliminary videos as I kind of pan to the right and stare right into trees. I forgot those trees were there. There's the French over there and her allies. And boom, let's start off with corps orders for Marshal Oudinot and for General Laptiev. And we'll go from there. Everyone's pretty much very basic. I rolled quite well for both sides. We got superior corps commanders, and everyone else is just standard. All the brigade commanders and divisional commanders are all campaigners. So it's kind of vanilla, but that'll work out just fine. I did look at the GDA 2 rules and saw that every single divisional commander except for General Bourman on the French right, he will have 5 ADCs. Everyone else will have 4. And that's what we got. There will be interaction between Scott and my table. So troops will be sent either from the Prussian side or from the French side, depending on availability. They can move across, artillery can shoot across, cavalry can charge across. So there's a whole lot of fun things that can happen. Scott and I are sending, you hear my cat meowing in the background. She wants some love. It's all right. So don't we all? And Scott and I have been doing messages back and forth. So for both commanders. So we'll see what happens. All right, here come the corps orders for Marshal Oudinot. I think he's right about there. He might look eerily similar to Napoleon. Let's see how he does with his corps orders. He's got all 4 corps orders available as he stares across at Grossbeeren. And now we'll do General Laptiev. He's using a model for Marshal Blücher, which is kind of good. We'll look down the road to Berlin as the French approach. And he's got everything except for ride the line. That's all right. All right, let's kind of do a pan to the right on the defenders of Grossbeeren. Do a little tags out there. I've tried to downplay him with size this time. See if that is kind of a middle ground between not taking away the cinematic effect of the battle and also just decreasing my overall confusion and trying to memorize 67 infantry battalions. All right, let's French will be starting off with their ADCs. Starting off with the 25th Division, General Bowerman on the French right, rolling 5 ADCs. Let's see what he's got available. He kind of poops the bed and gets 2 ADCs. We'll slide down towards the French center with the 24th Division, General Marchand. Let's get rolling 4 of them. Looks like the blue dice might be starting off a little, listening too much Vanilla Ice. Starting off a little ice cold, baby. Oh, not good. He has 1 ADC available. Oh boy, I might have to. They haven't had their coffee yet, or hasn't kicked in. And General Richard on the French left, rolling 4 ADCs. Let's see if he's more awake. And then looking down the French line just for fun, I saw it and I'm salivating. They got a couple guys. Nice. Prussians aren't. They're a bit more scattered, but they're looking. It's just as many troops out here for them. This is close. There's only about like 900 guys between the two, you know, separating the two. It's 24,000 versus 23,000, so all right. He gets 2, so total for all 3 divisions, they get 5 ADCs. Well, not a lot of, not feeling it this morning. We'll flick on over to the Prussians and see how they do. General Vuich on the Prussian left. Let's see, he's got 4 ADCs to roll. He also controls the the eastern portion of Grossbeeren. He's making the blue dice look a little better with 3 ADCs. They French are kind of jealous. Sliding into the center, 17th Division with General Kraft. The French lack of caffeine seems to be spreading over to the Prussians. He gets 2 ADCs himself. And now we'll go to the Prussian right with General Borstal with the 8th Division. He also gets 2 ADCs, so they're not lighting it up either, but at least they get to be, well, we assume they'll be static at first. They take core orders to change from defensive to offensive operations. All right, Oudinot sends over the red order dice, giving an extra ADC to Bowerman. He's basically going to do an artillery assault with the guns of the 2nd Brigade of his 25th Division, for these gentlemen right there, and that'll be it. And they'll get a reroll as well for the 25th Division, sorry, the 2nd Brigade. Bowerman has 4 brigades compared to everybody else. He's 1st Brigade is over here, which is General, oh, that's 2nd Brigade, that's General Belair. 1st Brigade is Pachoud, I guess. We got the 3rd Brigade is Dietrich, and then the 4th Brigade is Durut, with the cavalry kind of hiding behind the trees. The 1st Brigade of Pachoud will have the reroll, and their guns are right here. All right, I've got my little template set out, so let's see how his 4 brigades are, if they're active or they are asleep. All 4 brigades are active. The 25th Division is doing well. Strong work, gentlemen. We're going to slide down to the center with the 24th Division of Marchand. Just has his 3 brigades, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. 1st Brigade is the Léger Brigade. I won't do this every time. That's General Alpen. General Spurl is the 3rd Brigade over here with Bavarians. And then and the 2nd Brigade is General Bardet. He's over here on the left. We've got artillery, 2 batteries attached to the 1st and 2nd Brigades. He only has 1 ADC to use, so he's going to go ahead and put that with 1st Brigade under General Alpen with the Léger battalions. Everything's active for the 24th Division. Now we'll slide down to the French left to 23rd Division with General Richard. He has, of course, 3 brigades. We've got the 1st Brigade with General Martel on the left. And then we've got 2nd Brigade is that's 3rd Brigade, Palombini. And I believe this is the 2nd Brigade here with General Braus. He's just going to place an artillery assault with no backup on 1st Brigade. So we'll see if that works, and General Martel will be super thrilled. And everything else will just, the other guys are just rolling 1 die for everybody. The Italians under Palombini get a little hesitant, probably a little language barrier action, or maybe they're just too carved out from last night eating too much linguine. Could be either one of them. I've been there, done that. All right, so he's the only hesitant brigade in the entire French Corps. Oh, let's call him out. And we could actually, we're going to take that away using battle orders, so no one is hesitant in the entire French Corps. If you're not familiar with that rule, if you're attacking, you're supposed to be kind of switched on and have everything a good plan before you launch into the attack. So they have the advantage there. They're able to do 1 brigade can remove a hesitant. So that's kind of a good thing for them. Starting over on the Prussian left, General Vuich has got 3 ADCs. I believe he's going to do an artillery assault and a reroll. He has his 1st Brigade right here under General Thuman. They will get the ADC and the artillery assault out of the community constructed redoubt over here on the hills to the east of Grossbeeren. 2nd Brigade is General Hollendorf, I think it is. I might pronounce that. Holzendorf. He's defending the western portion of Grossbeeren. And then, if we pan to the left without y'all getting sick, General Magenhofer is defending Kleinebeeren over here on the far Prussian left. He is tied into all the gentlemen over at Blankenfelde, which will be here. So be aware, buddies. Maybe I shouldn't have oriented on this angle because of there could be dudes coming through here at some point, which is never a good thing. So I might have to change some orientation there just to prepare for that eventuality, or hope it doesn't happen. Or, you know, heck no, they could. I'm sorry to scroll back to the left there quickly, but these gentlemen could also orient, if things are going really good for the Prussians, and attack that direction into Marshal Ney's left. General Holzendorf in the western portion of Grossbeeren goes hesitant. Probably just messenger got lost, or maybe he was in church when it happened. And we never know, but he's not switched on right this moment. And that's all right. It's only 1 hesitant brigade in that division, so that's no negative impact on initiative. You need 2 hesitant brigades in the same division to cause an initiative negative modifier. His artillery assault will go off, and these markers are here. Not the ones made by me, are from Battlefield Accessories in Australia. Great company. I thought, you know, it would be forever till they got something shipped over to me in Kentucky, but they must have some connections or something like that, because stuff got here really quickly. All right, let's go over to the Prussian center, see what they're going to do there. Laptiev is going to give his red dice, which is an extra ADC, kicking this up to 3 for General Kraft over the 17th Division. He's going to do artillery assault, which costs 2 ADCs, and a reroll on the 1st Brigade of the 17th Division. This is General Alpen, and I'll have to find the rest of the guys here in a second. My battery died mid-shot there, so I'm not sure if it worked, that last thing I did. But this is General Alpen with 1st Brigade. He did the artillery assault and a reroll over here. He is also defending the western portion of Grossbeeren. 2nd Brigade is General Neindorf. If this is a repeat, I apologize. He's got his 4 brigades, battalions up here. And then he also has an artillery piece back here. And then on the 3rd Brigade for the 17th Division is General Steinwehr. He's kind of back here holding in reserve up here on the just right of Windmill Hill on a secondary ridge. Alright, so if that was a repeat, I apologize if it wasn't. Good, it worked out well. I never know what's going to get corrupted when these things shut down, because sometimes they'll show up in the camera, but then I go to load it on the computer and it just dies immediately. A couple people did ask me, and this is an assumption on me, since I've been playing GDA for a while. I forget some people come to the channel and aren't familiar with General Desarmées 2. This is not going to be a tutorial game, but I'll try to take an extra moment every so often to explain things, just to make it a little bit easier for people that have never played this before. I too struggle watching it could be a great battle report, but I've never played the rules. I don't know what's going on. I don't know the mechanics, and it sometimes is an issue just with my brain trying to watch them and then enjoy them. So I'm trying to help out there. If you are curious about this game, Scott, my partner in crime for this campaign, you can check on his channel. He does a whole tutorial of like 5 or 6 videos for General Desarmées 2. And then of course, it's from the Two Fat Lardies with Reiswitz Pretz, and David Brown and Rich from Two Fat Lardies did some phenomenal videos with a game included several years ago on the Two Fat Lardies website. So go check those out too if you're ever really interested in seeing if this is a game that you want to play. Or it's also very entertaining watching all of those tutorial series, and then maybe it'll make these games a bit more enjoyable. So, and of course, I'll try to get the rules correct. Scott has done a lot of teaching. I've done a lot of reading. I've watched a lot of games. Getting better every time, but I'll try to get the rules correctly, so if someone is watching this, hopefully it'll help them as they progress in their own GDA career. 2nd Brigade was hesitant on that roll. I forgot the yellow dice are sometimes hard to see with the glare, so I'm scrapping those immediately and switching over to an orange dice. I kind of use a stoplight format, with red being on top for American stop signs or stop lights, and then kind of orange in the middle, and then green for go for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd from top to bottom. So General Neindorf, 2nd Brigade, 17th Division, can't get it together. He goes hesitant. And finishing up down here with the 3rd Division, 8th Division, the 3rd Division of the Prussians, is General Borstel, and he has 3 brigades as well. 1st Brigade is General Schuler up front with these gentlemen to the right, just west of New Baron. Then we have, I believe back here is General General Hertig with 3rd Brigade and from the 8th Division. He's kind of holding in reserve, and then defending New Baron. Sorry about that. I found my first typo on my cards. I'm sure there'll be more to come, or my little cue cards. Had a duplicate when I was creating my order of battle on the Excel spreadsheet. This will be General Poppendiek of the 2nd Battalion, 8th Division. I'll get a chance to redo him at some point and make him look like everybody else. I think I also have, I've also found some mistakes over there on the French where I dragged and dropped some of the Prussian units over to the French side to make their cards, and some of the two of the French battalions remain French units. Or they say Prussian reservists on them, but they're in the French order of battle. So I will correct those too. If you catch those with the eagle eye, we should give a prize out for that. Yeah, right. I can't afford to give prizes. My wife's like, "What are you doing, moron?" So we'll do something, and I'll get those changed as quickly as I can. I'll get back to work near my printer. I'll get that changed. But that's where we are right now, and we're going to see what these gentlemen do. I got thrown off by that name card being incorrect. Might as well start off strong. We'll do an artillery assault with a 2nd Brigade, General Poppendiek's brigade, and with no reroll. So all 3 brigades are rolling with no extra dice. 1st Brigade under General Schulter goes hesitant, but the artillery assault goes off for 2nd Brigade, and 3rd Brigade is not hesitant. So, as I said earlier, it takes 2 hesitant brigades per division to cause a -1 penalty. That penalty is extra dice to roll in the initiative phase, and whenever you roll multiple dice besides the melee portion of the game, you'll take the lower 2 usually. So it's almost like a disadvantage in Dungeons and Dragons. So both sides will, since there's none of that's around, both sides will be rolling 2d6, and then comparing, and the highest will win the initiative. I believe the French still win the initiative. It's a tie, but if not, it might be a reroll. But I think late war Prussians it's a draw, since both corps commanders are the same, and they'll just do another reroll. Of course, that isn't true later on after turn 1, because then if it's a draw, whoever won the previous initiative the turn before, they will maintain the initiative. Prussians will be black, French will be blue, and here comes initiative. All right, General Laptiev will win the initiative, and we will proceed on to the charge phase, which is the first phase. No one's charging, so we will skip that, and we'll go into the movement phase, where the Prussians would be moving first, but they'll probably be static besides some skirmishers, and then the French will be moving afterwards. For movement, starting with the Prussians, they can't go beyond the halfway point on the table until they receive a corps order to switch to offensive operations. I might have gone over a little bit, but please forgive me. I'm not trying to win an engineering competition, but I think they have to stay behind the midline, which would be, somewhere very close to where they are. I'll try to do a little better on that one, but I'm pretty sure I'm close. As long as you guys know the real rule. They sent forward their skirmishers. Skirmishers have to stay within 18 inches of their parent brigade, or their closest infantry battalion, so they can't go too far. And that's about it. So they've moved forward their 12 inches. Even if a unit brigade is hesitant, the skirmishers can still advance. You get a side look here. French look like they're going to demonstrate on their right flank. And that might be what Ney wants them to do. These gentlemen remained in place. These are the Swiss. There's a line battalion. These are reserve battalions. You can see the 2 Prussian ones. I just saw them myself, so I'll give away the prize. Not masking the artillery. The Belaire's 2nd Brigade of the 25th is advancing. And then following in behind them, we have the 3rd Brigade of the 24th under General Spiel, the Bavarians. They've done a little wheel, and they're going to advance as well. I guess I could move out those skirmishers, but I'll move them forward a little bit. Let's do that now. They can go forward 12. Oh, just had an arm break. That's why I keep glue down here, for when things snap. I'll fix that in 2 seconds. That's them. And then these gentlemen are not a veteran or a elite unit, or grenadier even, so they can't move and change formations in the same turn. So they did change formation into skirmish formation. These 4 Légier battalions of 1st Brigade 24th, they've just gone to skirmish order. Their skirmishers did move forward, and everything else stayed static except for the French advancing their skirmishers out a little bit in front of them. Alright, I'm going to fix that gun I just broke on accident like an idiot, and we're going to go ahead and get into skirmish shooting, which I don't think anyone's in range. Field repair over there, got that musket put back together again, yay. Just so you know, skirmish fire is, if you're in America, it's 12 inches for a 28 millimeter and 20 centimeters for everybody else that actually uses a measuring system that makes sense. And regular line battalions, they can fire 9 inches or 15 centimeters. There's no extra range for rifled skirmishers or rifled armed troops. They just get an extra CD as skirmishers, I believe. And then artillery is either classed as 3 to 4 pounders, 6 to 9 pounders, and 12 pounders, and they all have ranges for each. If you're on a hill, like a lot of the Prussian guns are, they get an extended range. So the Prussians will have an advantage over the French, who are all on flat terrain. I'm in love with cotton balls if you haven't watched my channel before. So artillery, muskets, skirmishers, everybody gets cotton balls. Unfortunately, right now, none of the skirmishers are in range to open up on the enemy. Marshal Oudinot just being a little bit deliberate, moving forward slowly. He just wants to have a good hammer blow when he launches his attack against the Prussian left. Okay, boom. So we got no skirmish shooting. We can go right into artillery shooting, which is the third phase. All right, artillery assault gives you an extra 2 CDs. The French are going to open. These Prussian guns on the far left of I believe it's 1st Brigade of the 16th Division that are in the redoubt are going to fire across at those French guns on the right with an extra 2 CDs. They haven't completely found the range yet, but the artillery of 1st Brigade, their battery takes 1 casualty. Alright, so we'll move on to the next Prussian gun, which will be on Windmill Hill in the center. We'll just combo roll both of these guns for efficiency's sakes. The gun on the left has artillery assault, so it'll be an extra 2 CDs, which will be the black dice. And they'll both fire on the French gun on the right. These gentlemen must have been out late. Well, probably hit the wrong button there. They probably didn't chalk the guns or something really well, and some guy was standing where they fired, and it came back and hit somebody right in the you-know-what. So the recoil got them. They take 1 fatigue casualty, or they had a misfire and blew some guys up. You never know, whatever happens, or they just gave up and just run away. This gun did pretty decent, and they did 3 casualties on that French gun over there, and we'll force a discipline check, looking for a 7 to pass. All right, 2nd Brigade's artillery, needing a 7. I found another typo on a tag there. All the French batteries are line battalions. They spend so much time training their artillery troops. They get rattled, almost ran away. That would have been the end of that battery, that would have been a great shot by the Prussians. They go unformed, which will affect their fire. That's the benefit of winning initiative. The casualties you inflict will affect their return fire against you. We'll get a very similar thing over here with the 8th Division's troops from General Borstal. Both of his batteries, total of 16 guns, will fire on that French battery over there of Richard's 23rd Division. They inflict 3 casualties on those gunners. Wow, nice shooting by the Prussians to start off. Quick 6 casualties onto French guns. And now that'll end the Prussian shooting. We'll go back down to the east end of the battlefield and start off with Boerman's divisional gun. These guns are at long range. We'll take them down to inferior fire, firing at artillery in a redoubt, which will take them down to weak fire. So they will fire a single CD from each gun. The battery on the right will get 2 extra CDs from artillery assault. So that's what we get shooting at the Prussian guns on the redoubt. French gunners do quite well and inflict 3 casualties on the gun in the redoubt. That's not bad. It's hard doing casualties, but I guess they did pretty decent with their dice rolling. We'll go to the center here, and these gentlemen do counter battery fire on one of the guns up on Windmill Hill. This battery will be inferior fire, and this battery will be a single CD as they shoot at that gun right to the, I guess that would be the west. Now that I'm looking at this direction, I'm like, oh gosh, of Grossbeeren up on Windmill Hill. Artillery flies in. It has no effect on those guns, so that's a good win for the Prussians. And now we'll go to the final gun on the far left of the French line as General Richard's artillery opens up on the... we'll go to the gun on the closest to us right here. And they'll inflict a single casualty onto the guns of 2nd Brigade's artillery battery. All right, and then there's no volley fire, there's no melee, so that will end turn 1. We'll go on to turn 2. Be 9:30 a.m. All right, we're rolling along really good here. All right, see you in a minute, guys. All right, time for turn 2, 9:30 a.m. I just finished watching Scott's preliminary video for the Battle of Blankenfelde. It was good. It gives me a little bit more sense of what's going on to my to the Prussian left and to the French right. Would be in that room somewhere back there. God help them. It's pretty nasty back there, but they're doing their best. And yeah, so we'll start off with rolling for corps orders. The Austrians won initiative in turn 1, so they will win ties, and they will also get to roll first for corps orders and ADCs and everything else. It's just kind of the way it's supposed to happen, I believe. So let's do this. All right, General Laptiev. Thankfully, he's not a pedestrian C&C commander. He gets the 4 dice every time. Let's go ahead and roll all 4 of them. He will not be riding the line, but that's where he's at. Now we'll flick across the table to General Oudinot, who I guess was actually extremely sick the day of this battle, and historically, I think General Reynier kind of went wild without Oudinot's supervision. It went really not well for the French. That is very brief synopsis of the real battle. So that's about as far as I've gotten. I think I read about it in Wikipedia, so you know what an awesome source that is. Unless somebody really cool wrote it, then I don't know. I'm just going to shut up right now because I'm rambling. All right, Oudinot, rolling his 4 corps order dice. Yuck, he ends up with the black dice and the white die. That's enough for him for the time being. It's all he's going to get. Doesn't matter if he isn't happy with it. All right, we'll go back over to the Prussians, and we'll start on their far left. And I can't remember the name of the divisional commander, but I'll figure it out when I turn around and look at my whiteboard. I should have known. General Vulich, hiding in the western portion of Grossbeeren. I mean, he had 1 hesitant brigade last turn. Let's see if he can do better. He's going to roll for 4 ADCs, see if how many he gets active. In my head, I was thinking yuck, but actually he gets 3 of his 4 ADCs available. Not bad. All right, we're going to slide down the line to General Kraft, who's sitting very close to General Laptiev. Let's see how he does with the, what's his division? 17th Division. He also ends up with 3 ADCs. Not too bad. I forgot to mention, if you get double 6s, you get an extra ADC too. So, and if you rolled like 5 double 6s, yeah, that would be insane. But I'll just shut up. I meant to say if you roll 5 6s, it would be good. 5 double 6s would be a lot of ADCs. But there's a perfect example. I was going to wait until I saw one, and then I got impatient, so I failed. He gets 4 and then a double 6, so he gets 5 ADCs down here for General Borstel's 8th Division. And we turn a little micro die to 5 off 5. So that's it. We'll flick over to the French. Might as well start over here with Richard, and we'll work our way towards the east. Richard has 4 ADCs, so we'll go roll those right now. That was absolutely horrible. So if you didn't quite catch from the dice rolling, 1s and 2s mean no ADC is available, and anything higher means it is. And I just rolled every 2 and 1 in the book. He gets 1 ADC over there. Go over to General Marchand in the center next to Marshal Oudinot. Let's see what he can do with his 4 ADC rolls. He also struggles and gets 2 ADCs. And then we fly down to the far right to our boy who looks like Marshal Ney, General Bormann. And he's going to get 5 ADCs because he has 4 brigades in his division. He ends up with 3 ADCs. All right, there's the ADC availability portion of the command section. There's almost like 3 parts on a core level game. You have the core orders, then you've got the ADC availability, and now you do the command part where you apply your ADCs for special things or to give rerolls, and then you roll for the individual brigades to see if they're active or they're on vacation for the turn. We'll start off with Vulich. He's going to do Vuich, excuse me. He's going to do the exact same thing he did last turn. He's going to do a artillery assault and a reroll on the 1st brigade, and the other 2 brigades will be on their own. So this time the 1st brigade goes hesitant. The 2 other brigades are following orders, so Thuman kind of shuts it down over here. He loses his artillery assault because he's not following orders, so they cannot fire past effective range. So he's kind of hoping the French get a little bit closer. Get a little closer. All right, and now we'll fly over here, and we'll do General Kraft. General Laptiev at this point is going to give his red dice as core order to General Kraft, take him up to 4 ADCs. He's going to try to do artillery assault on the 1st and 2nd batteries for the 1st and 2nd brigade, but with no rerolls, so no safety net here, just going for it. Just so you know, this is very similar to the ADC's availability. If you roll a 1 or a 2, your brigade is hesitant. So 1st brigade goes hesitant, 2nd brigade and 3rd brigade are doing well. So Alpen right here and his battery do not get artillery assault. I will put a hesitant. I put it on the wrong battalion. Actually, I didn't bring it over from the last time. Sorry about that. Or wrong brigade. He gets hesitant this time, but Neindorf and who's the other gentleman? Steinwehr are both active for the Prussians. Now we'll fly over to their last division, the 8th Division, with General Borstel. He's going to put an artillery assault on both of his batteries, the 1st and 2nd Brigades batteries. It's going to do a reroll with the 1st Brigade. 2nd Brigade's going to have no safety net, and 3rd Brigade is going to be out there just trying to do the best they can. Everything is active for Borstel's 8th Division. Both artillery assaults will be in play, and I feel bad for those guys down there. All right, so there'll be no negative modifier for the Prussians for their initiative because they only have 2 hesitant brigades, but they're both in separate divisions, so no big deal. General Richard down here, he only has 1 ADC, so he's going to put it as a reroll on 1st Brigade to try to make sure his guns can at least fire. You can't put this is the point in the game where you have to put a caisson down, but you can't put a caisson on an artillery battery until it gets to 6 casualties. That'll reduce it by 2. The other function is if it's low on ammo, you can resupply it. General Richard cannot get his orders out correctly or timely enough as General Brous of 2nd Brigade shuts it down. He goes hesitant, and also 1st Brigade's Martel, he also shuts it down, which will take away the artillery assault on that battery. So that was just horrible. That'll also affect the initiative, adding an extra die at a minimum to the French. Oudinot is going to be giving his black die to General Spurl with the Corps Forwards order. So that's what they'll be doing. So if they can not be hesitant, they can kind of really move up the table here. All right, General Marchand has got 2 ADCs. Wow. He'll just do... Hang on. He's going to do brigade rerolls for the 1st Brigade and the 3rd Brigade. 2nd Brigade's going to be on their own. Everything is active, and General Spurl of 3rd Brigade, 24th Division will have that forwards order with his 3 battalions of Bavarians. Then General Bowerman's up. He'll do the same thing as last time and fire... he'll give 2nd Brigades... actually, he'll go with 1st Brigade still. Wait, which brigades? Hang on one second. I want to support this attack, so we're going to go an artillery assault on 2nd Brigade's guns again, because that'll give him a reroll here, General Belair, so he can continue to advance. And that's the main objective right now for the French. And then that's it. That's all you get for ADCs. All right. This is going to be a rule from now on. I screwed up because there's 4 brigades in this in this division. So I should have rolled 4 dice. That was a horrible dice roll, but these dice do bounce off each other. So I'm going to re-roll that and add the last die for Durout's 4th Brigade. And we'll need to be consistent with that throughout the rest of this battle. Hopefully throughout the rest of my wargaming career. So the French win out with that, luckily, that little technicality. 1st Brigade is now not hesitant. 2nd Brigade. 1st Brigade back here is hesitant, but there's no penalty, additional penalty for the Marshal Oudinot's initiative roll. So he'll be rolling 3d6, taking the lowest 2, and General Laptiev will be rolling 2d6 and just taking what he gets. Austrians maintain initiative. We'll go to the movement phase. Before I turn our camera off, I'll just roll the movement bonus from the Corps order for the Bavarian Brigade over there. So when they get to move, those Bavarians will be adding 20 inches onto their movement, so that'll be like a 29 inches. They will not get to shoot at you. It's just like a normal forwards tasking. You can't engage after that. All right, so we'll be right back after movement as both sides will be doing their thing. The Prussians can't really go too much farther forward because they're already at the midline, and they have received no orders to go on the offensive yet. All right, so after movement, French got a little busy here. This is the, oh gosh, I'm having a moment here. 25th Division, 3rd Brigade, the Swiss, they started moving forward not to mask the guns. These guys were hesitant. They kind of sat still. Cavalry did not move. They're saving themselves. Guns are still firing up this lane. Belaire's 2nd Brigade moved forward. Also, Spurl's from the other division, 24th Division, came up behind them. Now we're getting this heavy column advancing into that space there. Going into the, I guess that is east of Grossbeeren. The Leger Brigade under Alpen, 1st Brigade of the 24th Division, starting to move into the woods. There's skirmishers out a little bit to the front, to the left. We're getting musketry between the two built-up areas from Grossbeeren, firing in at them as they come on in. Over here, we've got another French brigade now. This is the 2nd Brigade under Bardet. He's moved into attack column. Sorry, he's in attack columns. He moved into like a heavy column and is advancing into that space, really pushing hard on the right. Could be following orders. You never know. Don't want to give away too much. These gentlemen of the Brause's 2nd Brigade, 23rd Division, they just changed formation to the line, kind of filling in the gap there, maintaining continuity across the battlefield. And then the Italians under Palombini and the French down here under Martel did not move, but their skirmishers went forward, left a wide enough column not to mask their guns, and they have engaged the Austrians in skirmish fire. Oh boy, if you look down there, lots of cotton balls, which makes me happy. Took a lot of good pictures. Austrians didn't really move. They just kind of waited for the French to come to them. And maybe have to shift in a little bit here now, because the Austrians had to move first. They won initiative, so they could not react to the French push, just to follow the rules. Just because I knew it was going to happen, I have to play like they didn't know that all of this stuff is shifting onto their left. Looks like they're going to try to unhinge these guys and separate General Laptiev's corps from General Talsian's corps, which is over here to the east. So if they can snap through there, and that's kind of the hinge there between the two corps, that could get kind of ugly. Split them in half, and then the French will be able to pour into the middle there. All right, that's what we got on movement. We'll go into skirmish shooting here. Austrians will be firing first. That'll be that is their advantage for winning the initiative, though, because they'll effect the French before they can hit them back. All right, Schluter, 3rd Brigade of the 8th Division. His skirmish line up there, they got 4 guys firing at those gentlemen. They 5 shots. Every 4, 5, and 6 hits on a casualty dice or a skirmish dice. It takes 2 hits from a skirmishers to inflict a casualty. Each skirmish base can take 3 casualties before it's removed from the tabletop. Once these skirmish bases are down to 2 bases left, they will leave and fall back behind or fall back into their parent unit. If they're unable to and they get cut down to 1, that will falter the brigade. The garrison in New Baron, they'll get 5 shots at these gentlemen here. These 3 skirmish bases here, they're going to fire at this French unit here, 4 skirmishers. Those Jaegers do 1 casualty to those gentlemen, and now these other 4 Jaegers are going to fire 5 shots at that same unit. They inflict 2 casualties on them total, so it's 1 + 1. It wasn't, they didn't do 2 more. Garrison in the western half of Grossbeeren will fire 5 shots at those skirmishers from the Leger. They miss everything. Now the garrison from here will fire 5 shots at that same unit. They inflict a casualty on those skirmishers. Now we'll get these Jaegers out here in the field firing at the French as they come on up. excuse me for coughing, they're going to get 5 shots at those 3 skirmish bases. They inflict 1 casualty on them, and then these final Jaegers will fire 5 shots at those French in front of them. The Swiss take 1 casualty. Swiss are going to fire back with 4 shots against the French. I believe I misspoke there. Those were Prussian Jaegers, not French. So they do take 1 casualty. Now we'll flick over another 4 shots from these French against these Prussian Jaegers here. These 5 Jaeger base, Leger bases are going to fire against the built-up area at Grossbeeren. Normally be 6 shots. They lose 1 for firing into the built-up area. Sorry, they lose 2. They go down to 4 shots. No effect on that garrison. We scroll down here. These gentlemen, they're going to fire at these unit, hoping because they only have 3 skirmish bases, hoping to break them. They'll get 5 shots. They're not going to break anything with that shooting. The Italians are going to help them out and also fire 5 shots at those same gentlemen. Blue dice staying ice cold. And then 5 shots on the final French skirmish line against these Jaegers down here. Alright, they take that casualty on those Jaegers. Now we flick over to artillery, starting off with these gentlemen down here from Borstel's 8th Division. Both guns firing artillery assault against that French artillery battery over there. The artillery of 1st Brigade, 23rd Division gets hammered for 5 casualties. They're at 8 now. 10 they eviscerate. They have to take a discipline check. They will get a reduction because they're over 6 casualties. That means they're worn, so they're going to be saving his reservists. They're able to pass that, which is phenomenal. And now I'm sad. Hang on a second. In my mind, I think every brigade in this division, in the 8th Division, was active. But I just looked down and saw this hesitant next to Schluter. But I didn't pick up the artillery assault. So I might have forgotten to do something. I'm going to go back and watch the tapes, and I'll be back. Because then if it is wrong, we're going to correct this and have to re-roll that, because this gun could not fire out to long range. And it only fired effective range if it's hesitant, so that would have never even impacted those guns over there. And it wouldn't have had artillery assault. So I went back and reviewed the tape, and VAR says I just forgot to pick up that hesitant marker there on that battalion, or brigade, excuse me. So that everything counts. Those casualties are for real, dog. We'll move on down the line to the next artillery piece for the Prussians. All right, next up, we've got the guns from the 17th Division. Both batteries are going to fire once again at that same guy on the right they fired at earlier. There is 1 artillery assault in play over here. And actually, I'm actually going to get this one right. Because Oppen's 1st Brigade is hesitant. This battery can't fire. Almost had another replay again. This battery can, so they can go out to long range, and they're going to fire with artillery assault. Fortunately, the black dice were the casualty dice. Excuse me, I had a moment there. That's not a double 6 on the shooting dice. That would have caused all kinds of casualties and a discipline check and a destiny roll. They were the 2 casualty dice. Just cost 2 damage. The 5 does nothing as a inferior artillery fire. They go up to 5 casualties on that gun right there. This final gun can't shoot out to those gentlemen because there's there's skirmishers in the way. They can't fire to long range, so they can't fire to those batteries. So this gun will not shoot this turn, which is kind of a bummer. French guns are going to combo fire against the Redoubt, especially now that they can't get return fire from them. One is going to be an inferior, actually they're going to both be single CDs because it's long range and they're in cover. But this gun's on artillery assault, so it's going to get an extra 2 CDs. The battery in the Redoubt takes a pounding, goes up to 6 casualties. They take 3 more casualties from those 2 French batteries firing on it. Redoubt is not protecting them as well as they'd hoped. Just scrap that. Oh, I need to have a margarita or something to get this party started. My brain's all fired up. No, I can't do that. I'll get heartburn. So, we'll go over here to this middle batteries. These 2 of them are going to combo fire. Let me check on what they can do. All right, this gun is going to fire straight ahead at the battery on top of the hill. This battery is going to fire to effective range because it's in a hesitant brigade. So it's going to fire straight ahead at those gentlemen with bounce through. The battery on the right gets a 10, which would have been more devastating, but they were unformed last turn, so they had to move to become reformed. So they don't get the 10 plus shot. So they will do some casualties, but not as good as they could have if the Prussian guns hadn't hammered them in turn 1. This battery takes 1 casualty and goes up to 2. These gentlemen, the front battalion, the 2nd Battalion, 2nd Brigade, 17th Division, takes 2 casualties. The bounce through inflicts 1 casualty onto the 4th Battalion. And the front battalion will have to take, sorry, I'm all over the place with my camera. So these guys take 2, these guys take 1, and the front battalion will take a discipline check. Thankfully, this brigade in here are all line battalions, so a 7 is enough to pass. And we'll move on to the final gun, which has got a lot of casualties. This gun is also in a hesitant brigade, so only fire to effective range, thanks for their 12-pounders. So they will fire straight ahead. There is enough spacing so it's not bounce through those guys straight ahead. But it's an effective range, but they'll get a downgrade for being worn. They are able to inflict 1 casualty onto the 2nd Battalion, 1st Brigade, 8th Division. There is no volley fire. There is no melee. That'll bring turn 2 to a close as we hit the 10 o'clock hour. All right, we'll see you in turn 3, gentlemen and ladies. Bye-bye. All right, welcome to turn 3. It's 10 a.m. Attack is going on. Let's kick it right into, it's the next day for me. I got my morning voice on. Gotta love it. Go right into core orders. I believe General Laptiev won initiative again, so he'll roll his core orders first. He's got everything except for the white die. We'll flick over to Marshal Oudinot so he can do. I should have picked up these hesitant signs so I don't screw myself up like last game. I'll do that right now. I picked up the French hesitant markers. Yay. I think I got them all at least. And Marshal Oudinot will not be riding the line. He's got all the other corps orders available. Oop, I forgot one hesitant marker down here on General Braus. And we will go into ADC availability for the, I almost said Austrians, Prussians. We'll start over here with the 8th Division, General Borstal, rolling 4 dice. He doesn't do as good as last turn, but he gets 3 ADCs this time. Move over towards the French center. General Kraft sitting next to General Laptiev, once again rolling 4 ADCs. In the words of David Brown, he is ultra switched on. I don't think Dave's used the word ultra in his life, but he said switched on a few times. He gets 5 ADCs. All right. Remember, whatever you do, don't tell him he's under arrest. That's a good story by Mr. Brown. That made me laugh. All right. And then finally, on the left, Vulich, rolling 4 ADCs. He's also in Fuego and gets 4 ADCs himself. All right, we're going over to General Bowerman. We're going to remember to roll 5 ADCs this time, as that's what he deserves. Oh wow, it looks like the blue dice have decided to wake up a little bit. This could be a brutal turn. 6 ADCs for General Bowerman over here on the right. He's an effigy of Marshal Ney. So he is living up to his that. All right, switch over to the center. General Marchand, who's sending half of his boys to the right, rolling 4 ADCs. Got 2 last turn. Let's see if he can impress Oudinot. When his corps was dissolved, Bertrand became chief of staff to Oudinot. So just for some fun, I brought out another divisional marker, commander marker. Put him next to Oudinot just to say, hey, he was here. So Bertrand is right there helping out Oudinot. Just on the day of the battle, actually, Oudinot was sick. So, yeah, maybe he's here just helping him not fall off his horse. All right, buddies. See ya. Now that we've got a huge artillery target back here, General Marchand does a little better, gets 3 ADCs. He's a little starstruck looking to his right. And finally, sliding down to the French left. Try not to make you throw up. General Richard. He's going to roll his 4 ADCs as we look down the French line. Oh yeah, baby. He rocks the house with 4 ADCs. Strong work. Okay. Now we'll go back over to the Prussians and start seeing which brigades are active, and we'll assign ADCs, and we'll do the whole at once. Alright, we're back where we started. General Borstal's 1st Brigade. Going to get a re-roll and an artillery assault for their 8 guns on their, I guess it would be the starboard battery for this firing line here of these 16 guns. They're going to try to finish up the French guns on the far side and get artillery domination. I still want to fall back on my nursing background and say arterial all the time. Everything's active. General Hertig on the rear in the 3rd Brigade. He goes hesitant. The artillery is with 1st and 2nd Brigade. It's not going to affect them at all. And we'll move on to the center. General Kraft has 5 ADCs like a boss. He's going to go ahead and put artillery assault on both his batteries from the 1st and 2nd Brigade. 1st Brigade over here on the left is going to get a re-roll, and 2nd Brigade is going to go without a safety net. 3rd Brigade is all alone. He remains switched on. Everything is active. Everything is wonderful. All right, we'll go out to the left. Vuich, chilling in Grossbeeren. How many ADCs he have? 4. Give me a minute to think about this. All right, if you're about to take a shot of cough syrup, hold off for a second. You're going to get a cleared head for this confusion. All right, so this is going to be awesome. Vuich has 4 ADCs. So he's going to spend both his caissons. There's no limit on how many caissons you can spend in a turn. You just have to spend them when you're allocating ADCs. So Vuich will spend 1 ADC to reduce these guys from 6 casualties to 4. He'll spend a second 1 caisson. He'll spend another caisson to allow an artillery battery with 4 casualties to assault fire. So that's gone off. So that's 2 ADCs. He's going to spend the third ADC on Thuman's 1st Brigade to give him a reroll. That'll include this whole 1st Brigade here. Thuman's skirmish lines up there. Going to give them a skirmish tasking. That's his 4th ADC. Now, General Aptia is going to send over his red dice to General Vuich, give him another ADC, and he's going to allow Holzendorf's 2nd Brigade skirmish line to skirmish tasking 2. So, boom, they get an extra 2 dice, and if they get a double 6 on their skirmish shooting, they inflict a discipline check. So, all right, now you're cleared hot to take your cough medicine. Plan works great except for David Hasselhoff. Actually, it's Magenhofer back here, 3rd Brigade. He goes hesitant, but he wasn't involved in any of the shenanigans I just said. So that very confusing plan that made you suffer from your cough symptoms for 3 extra minutes, it'll go off without a hitch. Over to the French side, Bowerman on the French right has 6 ADCs. He's going double deep for both batteries to assault fire, and both batteries, or both brigades the batteries are assigned to get a reroll. Oh, sweet. Also, Udno will send his red dice over here, so his 3rd Brigade that wasn't involved in that will also get a reroll. So all 3 brigades are going to get a reroll with 2 assault fires. And guess what? I screwed up, so we'll be re-rolling all of that because he has 4 brigades. The rules giveth and the rules taketh away. We'll try it again. Pashud in the 3rd Brigade goes hesitant. Everything else is active. No negative penalty for the initiative rolling later on. We'll slide over here to the very confusing brigade or division, under Marchand, where he's got boys going everywhere. This is without these name tags, I'd have been hosed. Look at this. It's like traffic in downtown Chicago. Like, hell boy. They're pounding into the woods like a zombie apocalypse. All right, he's got 3 ADCs. Ah! 1st Brigade's going to pour it on with artillery assault and a reroll. 1st Brigade is the Léger Brigade, and the other 2 brigades. There's not 4 brigades in this division, and they'll all kind of be doing their own thing. Badet goes hesitant, or bidet. He's a bidet. He's a toilet flusher. He's hesitant, which stinks because he has this artillery battery. They have 5 casualties, but they could fire to effective range. Those gentlemen are in range. 1st Brigade, and I believe I sent, and 3rd Brigade out here are both active. So that's not, of all the scenarios of having one of his brigades hesitant, that was probably the best one. These guys are kind of a trailer. All right, not too bad. And now we move over to the very wide spread. He's taking up half the board like a big fatty. I love him. General Richard, 4 ADCs. Ooh, his gun has 8 casualties. So he's definitely going to be allocating a caisson over here. Or he's basically going to try not to be a heel in the thorn of his commander's side. Or thorn in the side. I don't know, whatever. I got that all wrong. Thorn in his side. Oh, gosh. Did a lot of foot surgeries last week on ankles and stuff and cutting off toes, so I'm thinking about feet all the time. That's weird. All right, so, yeah. All right, so, General Richard, back to my main point, he's just going to assign an ADC to all 3 of his brigade commanders to try to decrease the chances of one of them going hesitant and causing a negative modifier to Udino's initiative roll. And for the most part, the plan works as Martel goes hesitant in 1st Brigade, which does affect the artillery, but I think there is targets in effective range for 12-pounders. So giddy up on that. All right, so both sides have been rolling 2d6. No negative modifiers to initiative. Let's do this. All right, once again, my battery died in the middle of that ramble. General Laptiev will win initiative. If I didn't say it, or if it got cut off, General Richard spent a caisson over there. He's down to 1. Also, earlier we saw General Vuich on the Prussian left spend 2 caissons, so he's out. And Prussians will have initiative. There are no charges. And now we'll go right into the movement phase with the Prussians moving first. Alright, we'll start down at this end, which is the northeast corner with General Vuich, who was so active in the commanding part of the turn. Slightly pivoted his troops, starting to see some concerning things off this table, and not just the cleanliness of this basement, but French are pushing hard, so he's kind of reorienting to continue the Prussian line going across the battlefield, connecting with the boys over in Blankenfelde, trying to help them. The skirmishers from 3rd Brigade moved up. They didn't engage anything yet. They just moved up to that ridge line just in case something comes through from this side. They're ready to offer fire support. You'll start seeing Bowerman's Swiss coming up there, engaging, still leaving a nice hole for the artillery to fire through. We also have the other 2 brigades here and here coming forward. The Prussian skirmishers fell back against the side of the built-up area of Grossbeeren to unmask their artillery and also to provide fire with their skirmish shooting tasking into the oncoming French. We've got a big mess in these trees. It's gone all Battle of the Wilderness. If I can zoom in here a bit better. That's 3 French Léger brigades all piled through in those woods. We'll get a look from the other side, but they'll all be pouring fire into Grossbeeren. The 3rd Léger, the 4th Léger battalion is behind their skirmish screen here. It looks like the skirmish screen's even more huge, but it's actually from this brigade sent forward their skirmishers. So now you've just got a giant bubble of skirmish fire coming from the French as they try to force their way past Grossbeeren and try to sever Laptiev from Tauziehen. These gentlemen basically stayed static. The Prussians that from Oppen's, no, it's not Oppen actually. It is Oppen. Oppen's 1st Brigade of the 17th sent their skirmishers forward to try to lessen the firepower against those boys there. And then kind of boring over here for the most part. That's kind of the plan, just kind of sit back for the French. So, General who went hesitant, the 3rd Brigade of the 5th Division, Herdig, he you can still change formation as long as you don't hear the enemy. He moved into march column, and he's going to start using, he's planning on marching all the way down there and trying to reinforce the Prussian left. He's not crossing over the midline. I don't know if he needs a special order to do that. I think I did that early on in my GDA career, and Scott told me I didn't need to, so I think I'm right there. He can do that. But he's going to try to move over there. I'll do a little bit of reading between at some point, and if I figure out that that's not right, let me know. And but he's going to go down there and try to reinforce where the French are pushing. Since they're not pushing that hard over here, we're going to start sacrificing troops on the right side. I know in a real Napoleonic battle, I can't remember which one it was, but Napoleon marched like Davout's corps all the way across the back of his lines. And it took a cavalry charge to make sure they didn't get slaughtered on the way to distract the guys while they were all in march column marching across the back of the battlefield. And then everything here just kind of stayed the same. We'll get another look at what the massive French push from a different angle here. Once you get about this point, things go whoa, as Marchand and Bowerman push hard to crack this on the right hand side over here. Here's the big push of all the light infantry They're all in skirmish order in the woods. And then their skirmish screen, and then the other skirmish screen from Bardette's brigade down here. These gentlemen's skirmishers right there, they're within 18 inches. And then you see the two attack columns from two different brigades moving forward. This is the 3rd of the 24th, and this is the 2nd of the 25th, kind of going in together, leaving a hole for the artillery to fire on the redoubt. These gentlemen are hesitant. Cavalry is staying until they're needed. It's going to be a long battle probably. And then here come the Swiss under Dietrich. He's the 3rd Brigade of the 25th Division. I got new glasses the other day, so I'm quite not locked in on those yet. And they're moving forward to attack the Prussian left. Kind of get in. Oh, yeah, I guess they can push in and take Kleinbeeren. That'll definitely anchor to be able to defend going this direction. Then take the redoubt, take Kleinbeeren, and probably go after the eastern portion of Grossbeeren. That could be pretty devastating. It's about to get brutal over here. All right, hang on to your hats. We're gonna do skirmish shooting. I love these things. I found them like on Etsy. They're really cheap. I used them. They're curtains, so I put them up on the walls. All right, vive la France. If anyone knows I can get Prussian, Russian, and Austrian flags, let me know. I want to put them up down here too. I just want to litter this basement's walls with Napoleonic flags. I can only find French so far. And of course I'll find a British one at some point. I think I've got a line on that. Alright, let's do that skirmish shooting. We'll start on the not so exciting side, which is still pretty cool. Alright, Schlüter's 1st Brigade skirmish screen from the 8th Division. The boys up here. They'll fire 5 shots at their opposition. Oh yuck, they leave the door open there. Alright, the garrison of New Baron. They're going to fire 5 shots straight ahead at those gentlemen. Those are the Italians out there. And our first casualties at the Battle of Grossbeeren are a group of Italian skirmishers. So far from home. Welcome to Germany, baby. All right, we're flying over to these Jaegers here. 3 bases firing into these French with 4 shots. They go ice cold and miss everything. 4 skirmish bases to their left will fire 5 shots at those same French skirmishers. Alright, the Italians are joined in the graveyard by a group of French skirmishers who are cut down by those Prussian Jaegers. Some Prussian Fusiliers here firing into this mass of French skirmishers coming at them. They're probably, I want to get back into buildings. They're going to fire 5 shots to try to cut some down. They're able to inflict a casualty on them. From the western half of Grossbeeren, this garrison will fire at the Léger skirmish screen. Try to put some on them. They inflict a casualty on them. Now we get the eastern portion of the Grossbeeren garrison. They're going to fire straight ahead, probably into the Léger brigade to the right, or battalion to the right, just to keep it organized. The ones in the woods. They'll lose a shot for them being in the woods, though, so they'll only get 4 dice. That battalion suffers a casualty. Now we'll get the skirmish firing from these Jaegers with skirmish tasking. 4 bases. We'll get 7 shots into this skirmish screen ahead of them. A little bit of a missed opportunity there, just inflicting 1 casualty. And then finally, the skirmish screen of the 1st Brigade is going to fire at these Swiss skirmishers coming at them. They also have the skirmish tasking. They inflict 2 casualties on them. They missed a double 6 barely, but yay. That screen will withdraw next movement phase back into the Swiss line battalions. And heck, they might charge next turn, you never know. And now it's time for the French to return fire. These 2 skirmish screens will fire at these gentlemen with 3 shots. No effect over there. All right, French, 4 shots at these Jaegers against the side of Grossbeeren. Raise them to 2 casualties. Now we'll get 3 Leger battalions, all firing 3 shots each against the garrison. All right, first one does 1 casualty. Second battalion. They do a casualty. They're up to 2. Third battalion. Effect, but 1st Battalion, 2nd Brigade, 16th Division has 2 casualties in there. We'll go on to their Leger skirmish screen. They're going to fire. They're going to fire at them as well. They normally have 6 shots, so go down to 4 because they have 5 bases. They're up to 3 casualties now. They're nickel and dime, and I'm getting them all prepped for the infantry assault that's going to hit their walls probably here next turn. Now we'll get this other, skirmish screen from that battalion back there, brigade back there. They're going to fire 4 shots, 5 shots at these gentlemen in the open. This French skirmish screen and the Italian skirmish screen are going to combo fire on these 3 Jaegers. They both inflict a casualty, raising them to 2, and then we'll get the final French skirmish base or screen of 4, shooting at these guys with 5 shots. All right, that goes up to 2. Just give them 1 more. All right, now we'll go on to the artillery part of the show. And we've got the... what are these guys? Sorry, this is Borstel's artillery battery with artillery assault. It's 1st Brigade, 8th Division, firing at that battery over there. I believe 2nd Division... Let me make sure they're not hesitant. Nope. It was 3rd Brigade. Both guns are going to fire across at that, but one's going to have artillery assault. Those gunner and Richard's division breathe a sigh of relief as they just take 1 casualty. They're up to 7 again. Richard's going to be pumping his another case on in there in a minute, getting them down to 5. Whew, what a mess. All right, switching over, going down the line of the Prussians. We'll get a double blast from these guns. We'll get 2 assault fires against that gun on the right, or the battery on the right, excuse me, from these gentlemen at long range. An absolutely massive blast from these 2 Prussian batteries as 16 guns cut loose. They caused, I think it was 6 casualties to Bardet's battery over there, destroying them. Those gunners go fleeing everywhere as cannons go flying, and horses are getting blown apart. It's an absolute nightmare over there. Faltering the brigade, 2nd Brigade of the 24th Division falters. Oh, what a shot! Wow, Prussian gunners in fuego, break out the schnapps or whatever. Just get some beer for these guys and pretzels. They deserve it. There's the falter tag over there on those gentlemen. These guys are like, where'd our buddies go? It's just body parts and mist over there. Holy cow, what a mess. Let's see if these guys can top that as they fire across the way with artillery assault against those guns over there. They do an additional casualty to them, getting them, or 2 extra additional casualties, getting them up to 3. French guns firing back. We got 2 assault fires over there firing into the redoubt. So going down to a single die each, but with 4 CDs from the assault fire. Whoops, look at the wrong guns. 2 casualties over there to the redoubt. They're up to 6 again. They're worn. Oh boy. Getting some revenge after their half their gun line disappeared. These gentlemen firing full steam ahead with assault fire against these guys up here on Windmill Hill. And then the final French gun will fire inferior blast at effective range because they are in a hesitant brigade, so they can't fire out to long range against this line battalion with round shot, and these guys are out of bounce through range. And those guys must be just a little traumatized as they go, they get a fatigue casualty and go up to 8. All right. That'll end turn 3. We're going on to turn 4. That'll be 10:30 a.m. And oh boy, things are heating up. I'm so pumped. All right, get a good look at the church because it's time for me to head to church anyway. So it's perfect time and get the family together and go on over. All right, you guys are awesome. We get back, we'll play turn 4, and then we'll get the first part of this battle out. Have a little preamble at the end, try to get your guys' take on what to do next for the Prussian or the coalition command. And I think Scott's video should be out by now. I'll be right behind him as we're kind of synced up. It's really perfect. All right, you guys are fantastic. See you in a minute. All right, turn 4, let's get into it. Oh yeah, should be awesome. All right, start with core orders, and my boy and your boy, Laptiev. He poops the bed a little bit, just gets the blue dice and the white dice. We'll see what he can do with that. Looking over at the Brain Trust with Oudinot and Bertrand chilling with Marchand in the middle there. Let's see what any core orders they can come up with. The Brain Trust won't be riding the line, but they got the white dice, the black dice, and the red die if needed. I just started watching Scott's part 1 of the Battle of Blankenfelde, so I'm going to do a little trick out of his book. He rolled all of them at once, so I'm going to chuck a whole lot of dice. All right, here's ADC availability for the entire core, all at once. Going to look a little bit like Chain of Command or Bolt Action. Hang on. Vuich ends up with 2, Kraft ends up with 2, and Borstal gets 4. All right, do the same thing for the French. Bowerman gets 4, Marchand gets 2, and Richard gets 2. Marchand has a faltering brigade. He's going to do a stand with me, so that'll eat up his 2 real quick. Down here, General Borstal is going to try to do artillery assault with both of his guns, try to knock them out of action over there, falter a brigade, and no rerolls. He only has 4 ADCs to deal with. Once again, Hertig is going to be, we won't be delayed because he's not going to march towards the enemy, but he is hesitant, so he can start his march down the baseline of the coalition rear, marching towards the left flank of the Prussian army to try to reinforce down there. Might take him a couple turns, but might as well start now. All right, so everything's hesitant except for him, but it's not going to affect him anyway. He doesn't have any artillery with him either. Next up will be General Kraft with 2 ADCs. He's just going to do an artillery assault on these guns of the 2nd Brigade. Yeah, that's it. No rerolls at all with his 2 ADCs. Everything is active for this division, which is the 17th. We'll go down to the 16th division with Vuich. Oh boy. And we're going to decide that Laptiev is going to play his white die, release both of his caissons, and give them to Vuich. And he's going to spend at least one of them right away. He's actually going to spend them both right away. So one will knock them down from 6 casualties to 4, and then the second one will be an artillery assault, because you need to spend a caisson for a battery with 4 casualties to fire an artillery assault. Alright, so no re-rolls at all, but that's just blew 2 more caissons really quickly. He will get one of those caissons back immediately because the brigade goes hesitant and he can't fire, so gets that thing back in the... but he still heals the 2 casualties. Alright, Bowerman's going to get crazy! Oudinot throws him the red dice for an extra ADC. Bowerman's going to use a CNC command, goes down to 1. He will join these gentlemen right here, do a post of honor, and attack, you know what, the eastern half of Grossbeeren. So that's going in hardcore. Next up, for this remaining 3 ADCs, he's going to do a glory, an infantry assault, and a reroll on the Swiss as they charge the ridge. And these these Jaegers, Prussian Jaegers, will get a chance to fire as they close on in. Alright, here we go. Let's see if they can actually pass. There's one brigade, I think it's the... oh, hang on, let me switch brigade this is. 2nd brigade is automatically following orders, so we just have to do 1st, 3rd, and 4th brigades here. To Root's cavalry brigade is hesitant. They had nothing to do. They just kind of didn't even bother reading the orders, so they shut it down. Everything else is active. I think these guys here have been like, the Patchaud's 1st brigade has been like on vacation the entire game so far. They finally might get to move. And then everything else is going in crazy monkey style, so it's kind of some fun. Alright, let's flick over to Marchand. So he's bid all of his stuff on post of honor with these guys, or sorry, with Stand With Me. So they're going to automatically follow commands and not falter. Definitely have no ADCs left over for artillery assault. And the other 2 brigades will get to roll. Richard spends his last caisson to lower the artillery down from 8 casualties to 6. And he's going to let the Italians and Martel over here with 1st Brigade. So 1st Brigade and 3rd Brigade are both going to get a reroll. 2nd Brigade just going to do the best they can. And they're all active. Alright, so it's going to be a straight up normal initiative. Blue dice versus the black dice. Black dice seem to be winning every single time. And General Laptiev is not going to complain about that at all. Alright, let's do what happens. Just had to talk a little smack about Oudinot, and he comes through. He took some cough medicine, and he's shaking off that virus he had. He's back. He passes initiative. He's ready to charge. Charge is the first phase of the turn. So here come the French. They got 2 charges, both coming out of Bowerman's 25th Division on the French right. All right, first move is the Swiss charge in. These skirmishers can fire at the lead unit, and then they will take 1 CD of damage. I think I've always missed that rule, so I apologize to everybody. They're going to evade, but they get to fire because they're not being charged by cavalry. But then they'll take 1 CD of damage, remain formed, and then form up behind these people back here. So they'll blast away with 5 shots. I'll go ahead and roll 1 black dice in there too, which will be the skirmish casualties. Alright, so the front unit and the unit to the left both take a casualty from the skirmishers because they were kind of firing and retreating. Skirmishers also took a casualty. They have 2 now back here and they fall back. The units charge in, and now they will get blazed away by this Prussian line battalion firing into them at point blank range with an extra CD for a column charging within 3 inches. Prussian reserve unit has a little bit of a panic attack, picks up fire discipline. They do inflict one casualty with the extra CD on the closing Swiss, but they might have been an early, I think Scott said it was the gripper system that was what the Prussian army was. They had to be under 100,000 strong or something, so they just rotated in troops. These gentlemen might have been trained early on in the 4 years that they were waiting, or 5 years, so these guys might have not been on the battlefield for a while. They had a panic attack as those guys came in hard and heavy, and now we'll do the charge phase. All right, the Swiss are a line unit. The Prussians are a reservist unit, but that does not affect the charge. Neither one has negative modifiers, so both sides will be rolling 2d6. Reroll wise, the Swiss will get 2, and the Prussians will get 1. Prussians start off terribly. Roll a double 1. They're going to re-roll that, one of those at least. That's all they got. All right, right now the Swiss are winning by 5. They got 2 re-rolls. They're going to try to re-roll their 3 as the Prussians throw another 1 on the board. If you can get to +6, you get like some massive victory on a charge. That's what they're going for. And there it is. It's an epic slaughter. Oh my gosh. 9 versus 2. Win by 7. I think it's going to be a bad day for these gentlemen of this Prussian reservist unit. All right, that was an absolute nightmare. They blew them apart. They retreat with their supports. The lead Prussian unit will take 6 CDs worth of damage. The supporting unit will take 4 CDs. They both are in retreat status, faltering the brigade. These gentlemen charge on 9 inches, slam into these guys. Now they'll have melee with the lawn. I think these guys might be unformed by getting hit by this. I'm not sure. I got to double check on that. There was 2 skirmish screens in the way. They both won't get to shoot. They both fell back, and they'll take 1 CD too. So we'll have 6 CD damage for the lead unit, 4 CDs for the supporting unit, and 1 CD each for both skirmish screens that were displaced by this charge by the Swiss. Wow. It was actually absolutely horrible. 1st Battalion, 1st Brigade, 16th Division suffers 5 casualties in the retreat and in the hand-to-hand. These gentlemen of 2nd Battalion, 1st Brigade, 16th Division suffer 3. The 1st Brigade skirmish screen suffered a casualty. They already had a base with 2, so they lost a base. And then 3rd Brigade skirmish screen suffered a casualty too, so wow. Now those gentlemen get hit hard right in front of Kleinbeeren. We'll come back to that at the end of the turn for melee. The Swiss will have Elan, and they still get the glory too, because okay, next charge. All right, as these guys rush in, this skirmish screen will fire 4 shots, or 5 shots, and then take 1 CD of casualties themselves as they fall back and try to scramble over the walls. Bowerman and Belair lead in the 2nd Brigade of the 25th Division in against the eastern half of Grossbeeren with Post of Honor. Oh boy. And that will go to a melee at the end too. We'll do a quick, the garrison can fire 5 quick shots at these gentlemen as they come on in though. Garrison inflicts 1 casualty on those gentlemen as they come rushing in. The skirmishers were able to inflict 1 casualty on the skirmish screen for the 2nd Brigade, which actually removed a base. So they're down to 2 bases, and their screen is retreated back inside of the unit. All right, that'll end the charge phase for this turn 4, which is, that's enough, man. I was like sweating down here. If it wasn't so freezing down here, I think it's like 30 degrees down here. It's pretty cold. Well, a little bit warmer. And we'll go into movement. French will be moving first. All right, for the French, wow.
Patchard finally got past a brigade command, so now he's moving forward with his troops in attack column, heading up to support the Swiss push that's kind of way up there by itself. These gentlemen, of course, rolled into the attack against Grossbeeren, supported by the Bavarians. The Legere still in the woods, fighting their way out. These gentlemen move forward. This is 2nd Brigade, 24th Division, moving into the support as well. Their skirmish screen that was over here has moved over here. Fill that gap. Another Legere battalion spread out to engage those Prussian Fusiliers. Everything else kind of stayed static over here. That brigade under Hardig continued to march column across the back of the Prussian line. And then Prussian forces moving forward, getting to a point where they can start meeting the French halfway here. They're not going to let them take Grossbeeren, but not masking their artillery. And yeah, they're going to start moving in and try to defeat these Swiss. And then they've got follow-up behind them. So it's going to be ugly. So more Prussians might be moving over to the left over there, but that could be the grand scheme of the French. Keep pulling stuff, and then get ready for the next hammer blow to fall somewhere else as they pull away from they pull forces from their right flank. All right, that's all done. We'll start off with skirmish fire, which will be a lot of this Legere. French won initiative, so these 3 groups of 5 will fire into this Grossbeeren. Oh, they can't because of the darn hand-to-hand. All right, they're not going to shoot at all. Forgot about that. So now we'll get these skirmishers here firing into this into this garrison over here on the western side of Grossbeeren. They have 5 bases, would be 6 shots, dropping down to 4. No effect. Now we'll have this Legere battalion firing at these Fusiliers with 5 shots. They take them up to 2. Now we'll do the same combo fire as last time, as these French skirmishers and these Italian skirmishers both fire on this unit here with 4 shots each. They blow away a skirmish screen down to 2 now. They actually put a second initial casualty on another base. So they will be falling back next turn, and then we'll get 5 shots from these gentlemen into these Jaegers out front. Alright, they inflict a casualty on them, killing off a Jaeger base. Alright, now it's time for the Prussians to return fire. They're down to 3 bases now, so the French did themselves a favor. 4 shots coming back at them. They must have killed the guys that could actually shoot straight, so nothing hits. Good job by the French. Now we'll get the garrison at New Baron, fire 5 shots into the Italians that are on the edge of glory here. They put a casualty on the Italians. Now these 2 bases will fire back for the last time they shoot at the Italians, with 3 dice. The old 111. Some of those muskets explode in those guys' faces. Now we'll get 5 shots from these Legere into those, Jaegers into those 3 Legere bases left. Full house with 2 6s and 3 1s. They do a casualty though. Prussian Fusiliers are going to fire at that Legere battalion in skirmish order with 5 shots. Nice shooting, as that does 1 casualty to the 1st Brigade of the 24th. I think it's the 4th Brigade of the 24th, sorry. And then, or actually it's 4th Battalion of the 1st Brigade of the 24th. Let's get it right, baby. And now we'll get the western side of Grossbeeren's garrison firing at those Legere skirmishers. They do 2 casualties, blowing away 1 base and putting a initial casualty on another base. So that's good shooting. And that'll end skirmish firing for turn 4. as this garrison's already fired here, and then the rest of the Prussian Jaegers have been displaced by insane charges by Swiss troops. Not so! Alright, we'll get into artillery fire, starting with the French. Do some counter battery fire against the redoubt. There is no infantry assault. They spent everything on, on all their charges and everything else they did. So just be 2 single CDs of artillery fire against the redoubt. Couple cannonballs get through, do a casualty to those guys. They're up to 5 now. We'll go over to the center gun, or center battery for the French after somebody got blown away. These guys do not have infantry or artillery assault either. They're just going to fire straight ahead at the boys up on Windmill Hill. Nice shooting with those French gunners, raising them to 5 casualties, forcing a discipline check on this line unit. Oh yeah, which they passed like a boss. And then these guys will fire a single CD across at that already damaged gun, just trying to have an impact before they get eviscerated. They inflict a 3rd casualty on those guys, and now the Prussians will return fire with 2 artillery assaults, or 2 assault fires, whatever you want to say, coming back at long range against those guns there. Austrian guns caused 6 casualties to that unit that only had 5 to give. They're incinerated. Martel's 1st Brigade falters. Oh, Richard of 23rd Division. He's going to have to try to salvage that nightmare. All right. Great shooting by the Prussians. Kick over the next 2 Prussian guns. All right. These 2 Prussian batteries are going to fire at the lone French battery that's left. With a 1 assault fire, 1 just regular straight up. Both long range. French guns are losing this fight. Oh, it's horrible. All right, I just got to check on this faltering brigade over here. I can't remember if they can fire or not. They act like a hesitant brigade. They can fire to effective range, so they're going to try to clip that Bavarian unit to the left there. I think they get an extra CD because they're in column. Battalions of Bavarians of 1st Battalion, 3rd Brigade, 24th Division suffer 1 casualty. A whole lot of talk just to say they got hit for 1 casualty. So 50 guys get blown away. That is the artillery phase. We go into the melee phase as we get this nightmare over here. I just got to double check if these Prussians of the reserve unit of 2nd Battalion, 3rd Brigade, 16th Division are unformed by this charge. They're not unformed, so they'll be getting 6 dice. The Swiss have Elan and they have Glory, and line versus reservist. All right, this hand-to-hand we'll get 6 dice versus 8 dice, with the Swiss having the advantage. They didn't get any extra dice for line versus reservist. It's only versus recruits, or if these guys were a higher grade Swiss. All right, the Swiss are victorious. They take the ground. They do take 2 casualties. They won by 1. The Prussians fall back with 3 casualties. They fall up behind these gentlemen. And that'll end that hand-to-hand. Wow. Now we'll go on into the fight at the built-up area. This is not a stronghold, but we'll have a French units going up against the Prussian defending garrison. All right, we got a French reservist unit fighting against a Prussian reservist unit. Prussians are in a garrison. These guys will lose a CD, so they'll go down to 4. But they do have post of honor, so they go up to 6. These guys will have 6. So both sides will have 6. And too bad I couldn't throw sappers, and we'll throw them in later. We'll definitely use that sometime in this battle. Fingers crossed. All right, 6 on 6. Let's see how it goes. All right, just hang in there. This is going to take some explanation. All right, the garrison takes 2 casualties. They go up to 5. These guys took 3 casualties. They go up to 4. They become unformed. They continue the assault. A 2nd Brigade enters the combat for the French. Reinforcing battalion of the 2nd Battalion, 2nd Brigade, 16th comes in to assist these gentlemen. And now we're just going to get a lot of dice. Probably 12 from these guys and 11 from these guys. And we'll see what happens. So this is going to turn into a massive scrum as 2 battalions get in the streets against each other, 2 on each side, just hooking and weaving. Hopefully they stay out of the church. Everyone else just running around getting stabbed. There's civilians running around. It's an epic nightmare. Let's see what happens in the streets of Grossbeeren and the eastern sector. Will of a risk for General as General Bowerman led them in there with the post of honor. Let's see if he comes out unscathed. So he comes out unscathed, and now we'll explain what the heck just happened. Alright, so Prussian units, they end up flip-flopping. The 2nd Battalion will stay in the garrison now. They're up to 2 casualties. They're unformed. These guys fell out of the garrison. They have 8 casualties. They're back here. They did win the hand-to-hand. They repulsed the attack. Those gentlemen were informed as the other 2 battalions retreated through them. The 2 double retreaters faltered the brigade for Bel Air. They're both marked with retreat status. The 2nd Battalion is up to 8 casualties. The 3rd Battalion is up to 3 casualties now. And they've fallen back behind that. Wow. And with that, that'll end turn 4. It's 11 a.m. on the field of Grossbeeren. Sorry I left my little cup in the middle here. I'll try to swing by so you can't see it. I had to use something to roll all those dice for that hand-to-hand. And now it's time for some comments and decisions from you guys as the Coalition Command. Hopefully this is focused in on me. Everybody, how are you doing? So this is the end of turn 4. Scott wanted to go in sections of 4. Not sure how long this battle will last. But we're going to start off with this and take a break at 11 a.m. just to give you guys a chance to interact. We don't want to decide everything, and I'm not deciding really any tactic at all, which is fantastic for me because everybody knows I'm a combat ineffective. But please make comments on Scott's part 1 of his Blankenfelde battle. Make comments on this as my part 1 of Grossbeeren. And let us know what the coalition should do. Now, there's a lot of things that have been happening. Hopefully you kind of slowly watch this, go back and review some stuff. I've seen some phenomenal comments from a lot of you guys, so this is a great chance for you to influence what's going to happen in part 2 of both of these battles. French are going to have a faltering brigade over here. Prussians have a faltering brigade over here. Thankfully, the Prussians were able to repulse the first attack against Grossbeeren, but they're getting crushed over here by what's this Clanbeeren, and the Swiss unit is just running amok. The French are pouring in units into this gap here. They've still got cavalry sitting back here. I'll also, as I'm speaking with you, I'm also speaking with Scott because he'll be giving me orders for what Marshal Oudinot should be doing as well. I'm going to go back and watch Scott's part 1 to figure out what's going on over there. And yeah, by the time we get all this together and get some comments back after a couple of days, we'll kick off part 2. And it's going to be, I'm just looking forward to it. Once again, and over here it's been kind of static, but Prussian artillery has been amazing. I know Scott is dispatched 3 heavy French cavalry regiments, 2 Carbiniere and 1 Cuirassier, or sorry, the other way around, 2 Cuirassier and 1 Carbiniere to this battlefield. They'll be making an appearance, I'm sure, and I believe they have horse artillery with them too, which can't come soon enough because the French are just getting dominated on the artillery side of the battlefield, especially from Grossbeeren on over. It's been an absolute slaughter. Yeah, so please let us know what your thoughts are on both of these first parts of each battle, and just hope you have a fantastic week, and we're looking forward to bringing you part 2 after we hear from you guys on some coalition command decisions for both battles. You guys are awesome. Have a great rest of your weekend. I'm having a great Sunday. It's my youngest daughter's birthday, so we're going to go do that right now. And yeah, that's awesome. Take care, guys. We'll see you. Bye.